What's up guys, it's me Jeremy and welcome to my guide on the Corki Leona bot lane duo. They have great synergy and are one of my favorite lanes to play, so I decided to make a guide for them. This guide will be focused on playstyle and tips and tricks, and I'm sorry but I won't be giving any tips for runes, masteries, item builds, or summoner spells in this guide, as I believe that those are all really just personal preference. I will however link you to some pro guides in the description that can show you these things for those who want it. Now let's jump right into the pros and cons of this duo. Starting off with the pros. The first is that they have a lot of damage. Leona's passive and damage early game causes this duo to have high burst damage during the lane phase, while Corki has very high damage throughout all points of the game, as long as he has a decent farm. The next pro, and this goes with the last one, is that they have very high kill potential. Leona's CC and gap closers, coupled with Corki's mobility, can set up a lot of kills because of their high damage, and this makes these champions a great combo to play if you are good at laning. The last pro I came up with is that they have what it takes to carry a team fight. Corki has high damage and very good mobility, so this makes it very easy to have good positioning and kiting during fights, while Leona is very tanky and can help protect her team very well during these fights, not to mention her AoE CC. Moving on to the cons of Corki Leona. The first con is that they have no sustain. This means that they can lose very hard to a poke lane if you don't play correctly. Next is that Leona is not that tanky early on. Her base stats are somewhat low, so some good jungler ganks early will be able to get some kills onto Leona. Also, Leona's skill shots can be hard to hit sometimes, and she is easy to kite around if you can dodge her skills. The last con I came up with for Corki Leona is that due to the all-in nature of Leona, if you fall behind it is very hard to catch up, because your opponents will be able to just out-damage you in fights due to their item advantage. Now let's go over the good matchups of Corki Leona, and what you should pick them against. The first matchup that they do well against is Turret Graves. Because of your magic damage, you will out-damage them at pretty much all points of the game, not to mention that you have more CC than them, and Leona is tanky enough to withstand Graves' burst, and Corki is mobile enough to dodge it, so that makes them a very solid counterpick against Turret Graves. Just be careful when trying to jump on Graves. His quick draw allows him to dodge Leona's skill shots pretty easily, and the only way that you can win this lane is if Leona can hit her skills. In general, Corki Leona is very good against AD carries that have no mobility spells. Kog'Maw, Ashe, Twitch, Draven, Varus, Urgot, Misfortune, and even Sivir if you can bait her spell shields, are all good matchups for this combo. In terms of the support matchups, it is pretty much all skill based. If you can hit your skills, you will most likely win, but if you miss them, you will most likely lose. Just don't get kited or poked down. Now for some advice on how to play this combo. Winning your lane is very important for Corki and Leona. Remember that during the lane phase, your damage will be very high. This combo excels with an experience advantage, so if you can fight with a level advantage, it will be very good. Also, since your burst is very high, if you're playing against a squishy support like Sona or Soraka, you can just wait for them to make a mistake and then burst them down. I recommend playing aggressive, but just make sure that you're warding correctly. During the teamfight phase, you want to have Leona protect your carries, while Corki does as much damage as possible without dying. As Leona, your damage is not enough to kill enemy carries, so it is just better to use your ulti on the team and then protect Corki or whoever is most fed on your team. I got a couple of tips and tricks that I picked up while playing this combo. As Leona, you can use your Q to hit a ward a second time. If your AD gets a hit in, the two of you can kill a ward without using any method of true sight. Also, this combo is very good at baiting. Act like you are running away, then have Leona use her Zenith Blade to get in and use her CC. Corki can Valkyrie in and do a ton of damage if he is out of range, and you can bait your opponents into a pretty nice fight. Lastly, as Corki, you want to try to proc Leona's passive as much as possible. Each of her skills can apply the passive, so if you can get a hit in when Leona uses her E and before she Qs, and then again after she Qs, and then again after she ults, you'll do a ridiculous amount of damage. Alright, lastly, let's go over Corki and Leona's counterplay mechanics and how to avoid them. Starting with Leona. Against champions with high mobility like Ezreal, they can dodge your skill shots pretty easily. A way to avoid this is to initiate fights with a flash Q instead of your E or your ultimate. After you Q, you can ult, and then just use your E to hit them after they use their blink spell. It is very hard to react fast enough to a flash Q, but it is very easy to dodge her E or her ulti with mobility spells. Another counterplay mechanic against Leona is that a knockup will cancel her E. For example, a champion like Janna can hit her knockup while she is still traveling with her E, and it will cancel the route and CC Leona. The way to play around this as Leona is to initiate with your ulti or flash Q once again, and then use your E after they use their knockup spells. Just be careful not to get kited or poked down for free. The only major con for Corki is that if you can bait out Valkyrie and then CC him, he is very squishy and will probably die pretty fast. As Corki, you want to be very careful with your Valkyries when you use it aggressively, and just make sure that you are warding and don't get baited into a gank. As Corki Leona, it is very important to remember that you have no sustain, so if you get poked down, it is very hard to win a fight. What you two need to do is initiate when you have pretty much full HP. If you just wait to get poked down, or if you are getting kited, it will be very hard to make anything happen, and you will lose your lane. So, that's it for my guide on the Corki Leona combo. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time!